Alrighty then, let's get back to it. Time for more Ace Attorney Great. Yeah, I'm sure we'll go with that. Anyway. Ah! Okay, hi. Is he okay? This is it then, Mr. Naruto. Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To this miserable curse that's been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything. And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you. I always appreciate your help, Mrs. Sato. Suffering Saseki, selfishly, sidelined! Ah, good. Morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. Good morning! Good morning, the logo upstairs, Mr. Naruto Esquire! Listen to you two chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here! Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seemed wrong to disturb you. I was waiting! What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Oh, why, naturally, that's because I attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death. Or such like. The sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I have my eyes shut. I missed the signs, I'm afraid. Somehow you'll have to forgive me. So you must have talked to you of your path leading to death. That's me. That was just an example. Oh yes, there it is. Inner calm. You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you'd abandoned me. I returned to our beautiful long lost homeland. We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet. Yes, well, anyway, I intended to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. I've actually reached an important decision myself. Huh? What sort of decision? I shall fill you in after the trial. Alright. It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits! It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again. The great detective, my arch nemesis. Long may he stay away, if you ask me. Defendant! On your legal representative! The trial is about to begin! Make your way to the courtroom immediately! Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Saseki-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client and keep fighting to the very end, that's all. Alrighty then. Let's go. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. Yes, defense is ready. Oh, whoops. Never mind. Yes, defense is ready. Very good. And I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Absolutely. Justice will be done. You mark my words. I feel obliged to say, I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right. Oh, well, I wonder if you could adjust my hat for me, and please be as ruthless as you like. Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me, especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for them at all. Look, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I got my own problems. The Lord shows all the light here, and let us flock to a righteous verdict again today. Now, Lord Van Zyx, what can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense regarding regarding the defendant's tea. So he does have the results. Either way, this is going to be tricky. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the blackguard in the dock. Pray, allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow, and there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in a little depression on top of it. Yes, that's the tea. That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night. Well, the brains of the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right, it was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it. Yes! No poison at all. In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent, in the least. It's in the clear. What a revelation! Oh boy! Good news, as I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mrs. Saseki Natsume, is blameless here. What now? My learned friend has jumped into conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction. What? Yes, it's true. No poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But, what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty? My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel. Exactly. Unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shamsphere, whom the prosecution now called back to the stand. Oh boy. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request. Mr. Shamsphere, yes, it sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend. Okay, let's show Mr. Shamsphere to the stand. Mr. William Shamsphere, the victim of this despicable crime. Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamsphere. Did I have a bellyful of the foul fluid given in mine innocence? Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe. By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamsphere, did have a roomful of the sweet fuel given. That's right, fellow jurors, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief. I haven't forgotten, kept all of the out of the ice cold as a tiny secret, didn't you? You should have opened up sooner. Arrest him, I say, arrest him at once, and let him feel the sting in my tail. Oh, indeed, by dint of vile and cowardly means I have plotted to further mine own ends, I confess. That thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure. If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here? Cowards die many times before their deaths, and for a coward such as I, death be well deserved. But would it that a still greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me. But there's no poison in the tea found in your room. The police had attested to that. What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mrs. Shamsphere? Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak. Very well. Let the witness testify to the explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why it is that the poison apparently entered your body though none was found in the tea. tea consistency. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make a coins of ice. Thus 'tis no surprise that poison not be found in the tea I did pour into the bowls of soap. The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. Then the normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience. Quite. Otherwise, it would be disastrous if the poisoner would have mixed up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene, because, quite simply, the Japanese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. I knew that. By now it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. Sirs, madam, 'tis true that I, Shamsphere, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Wherefore would I lie? Verily I have no cause. I have naught to lose. Well, I do declare. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Okay. What in the world is gonna happen here? The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. Hold it! I understand that you weren't already acquainted with this announcement, is that correct? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Do I know thee, or know thee not? Methinks 'tis all I can know, that thy destiny mingles with mine. You lost me at the first thee. Zound, sirs, thou must learn the English tongue afore thou turns thy hand to lawyering. I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabethan lecture. Verily, and in truth, 'twas a fine-flavoured brew, though a drop of poison did barb its sweetness, as a thorn doth barb the sweet rose. That, dear friends, be the simple truth. Listen to Mr. Shamsphere. He seems even better form than he was yesterday. Either that, or I'm in worse form. The fitted evening after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery, a local alehouse of good rapport. Naught did pass my lips but the tainted black tea, but behold, the poison was not in the tea at first. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Hold it! Are you saying that you saw the moment when the poison was added to your tea? Then why did you drink it? To have witnessed the act and then drank the tea? Thou dost describe the actions of a fool. Quite so, quite so. But no one likes going thirsty, do they? Sooner would I die quenched than parched. Would I have the choice? Actually, on the night in question, the water main was frozen, I believe, wasn't it? Were it not for the tea, in sooth, I would sooner have died frozen than quenched or parched. Right, no ice coins mean no heating. The witness had more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem. Remind the court, Mr. Shamsphere, as to whether the accused drank any tea. Any of the tea which he brought with him. With the greatest of pleasure, my liege. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, Ned a drop of his own drink past his lips. Hold it! But the teacup Mr. Natsume drank from was found completely empty at the scene. And let's not forget the defendant's maxim, drink tea while it's hot. I did gulp from the poisoned cup that night, and in mine agony did I writhe uncontrolled. In fits of pain, I did knock the fellow's cup and its contents as blood from a gaping wound, methinks. Though certainly 'twas after I made the coins of ice from his tea. An upset cup was found on the table that the victim was slumped over. There is no contradiction here. It's true, there was no tea left in either cup that we found at the scene. But something about this statement is troubling me. Yes, of course, I know what it is. It's Mr. Natsume's wise drink your tea while it's hot maxim, isn't it? No, I'm not sure that's it. Thank you, witness. Now reiterate for the court what it is that occupied you after your guest had left and before you drank your tea. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Frick. Hold it! Yes, so that you could cheat the gas company, in fact. Isn't that right? To cheat or to die. 'Tis life's only choice. Yeah. Faith, to cheat be the wise choice, and mine occupation to not be an ugly one. Prithee, dost thou not see beauty in the simplicity of the ruse? No, I don't, and be very sure, sir. Once this trial is over, Altamont Gas will take you to task over this legal task. I shall not run, I shall not hide. Sooth to say, I have nowhere to run, nor to hide. But my lady, what wouldst thou with this pitiful player? Oh, I'll tell you what I'd like to do with you, starting with the shoddy shut on your back. 'Tis time for a Shakespeare dance. What a harsh world we live in. The thieving of the gas was addressed in yesterday's proceedings. The prosecution calls on the defense to not muddy the waters with you will often see. Consider that a warning, counsel. Yes, my lord. Am I the one in trouble here? Mrs. Shamsphere. After the accused returned to his own lodgings, he used his tea to make your coins. Is that correct? To cheat or to die, I did make my choice many moons ago. 'Tis no surprise the poison be not found in the tea that I did pour in the molds of soap. Huh? If, having first made your special coins, it was after 2 in the morning when you collapsed, that would mean you can't have drunk any tea yourself until around that time. Once instead, by literary debate, naught else be found in the furrows of the mind. The debate about Romeo and Juliet, you mean, and who was stronger of the two. Rightly did I pay no heed to the task as I wrestled with the abominable fellow. I don't remember debates like that when I was studying. Are you suggesting that neither of you actually drank the tea whilst it was hot that evening? My lord, wouldst thou be privy to some Shakespearean wisdom? Husband, wife, and tea ought I tepid be. Ah yes, so very true. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to tea. I think you might have interpreted that wrongly. So it's been proven that there was no poison in Saseki-san's tea. That should be hugely in our favor. But the atmosphere in this courtroom today... It feels as though everybody's against us, Mr. Naruhodo. It must be the Reaper's poison. I'm afraid that if we don't find a significant flaw in this testimony somewhere, the jury will pounce and find Mr. Natsume guilty. It really feels like we've jumped into the fire here. Okay. This hope is looking at me with one hollow 2-centimeter wide eye. How polite, Mr. Naruhodo. All the literary references we've been hearing are starting to rub off, I think. Really, whoever would have thought of using this depression to make coins of ice? It was cleverly used. Another one of those ice coins that was in the soap when we first found it, wasn't it? Although it was a sort of reddish color, you seem to remember. Okay, the problem is, why would he put in... The problem is, why on earth would he use, like, the poisoned tea? Why would he decide to drink the poisoned tea instead of, you know, using the poisoned tea for the soap? Instead of, you know, drinking the poisoned tea. Are you sure this has to do with your reading? The problem is, how do we even say that? Huh. Wait a minute.
Objection!
He did drink, though. You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question. But that's impossible. How? Chop logic? Chop logic? What is this darkly clad fiend? The two teacups on the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the... have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof. Incontrovertible? What difference? Look at the insides of the cups. Just here, there's a clear visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Good lord, you're right! It's completely clean! And prithee, sir, what makest thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday, the Japanese saying he quoted. Drink tea while it's hot! That's right, yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night, and drank his tea in no time. If as you claim in your testimony he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after the several hours the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamsphere, you clearly lied to the court. Get thee to a nunnery!
Objection!
As a rule, I fill my hollow chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me, and I pour more times than I intend to until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamsphere. Hey, Jonathan. Yes, my liege? Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Eh? Could it be that, yes, there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? A fact that had vanished from your memory until now. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician, for verily 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. What? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty, and thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot as my liege did suggest.
Objection!
Huh? And you're just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before. Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. Oh. Here's no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the teacups in the victim's teacup only, and secondly, that this spoiled cup is not the source of the insipid ice coins that bewitched this court. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the effects. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words, the inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No! What does it mean then? To declare, it means that there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony. Apart from the bit about saving gas, obviously. My lords and ladies of the jury, I do solemnly swear that I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery Alehouse that night. Naught did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death. And on what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake in my favourites, a broth as would be called soup, and a leaf as would be called salad. Nice. And insalubrious as a menu as the establishment where it was served. But you gods will give us some faults, make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment 'tis fit to serve a wicked thief of gas, but I pray ye wise noble fellows ne'er forget the simple truth. Will it be one thing and this be another? Jurors, all your humble servant Shamsphere doth entreat you punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. Yeah, I can't tell if he's clever or being stupid, or so at times. Like I am mixed. Like, my lord, if I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman. I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer. By me? I do declare you may be right. Well, you don't know, the wife there was making coins of ice keeping himself warm. But this lawyer lad said that if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He'd been leading us to the garden path, that's what he'd been doing. I really never said anything like that. But we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We reach a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman, and will duly hear the jury's findings. Wait, what? No! You can't yet! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
No! I hereby declare the jury to be one in accord. Oh, a happy day! How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well. The court upholds the defense's right. Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth. You keep saying that, but we keep discovering new things, so shut it! This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged. Yeah. I'm a man of logic, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. I do declare the gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying. The stuff explodes, and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal. Gas is. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipe. They're not even talking about the case. Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. If nothing else tells us the victim sleeps that night, there's no explanation, is there? It's like two people talking about the actual case? I do feel perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind. No, you really should mind! The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shamser was poisoned. There could be no doubt of that. Then how are we supposed to turn this around? I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamser was actually poisoned. Yeah, but how? Our only hope is to demonstrate to the court and convertibly. But that's surely almost impossible at this stage. If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will be found guilty. Alright then. No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. Okay. All the evidence, you say? That's right. And there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing to that Japanese man with a big mustache. I just noticed that we now have the ability to look around. Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind. If only we had that kind of evidence. Don't worry, this summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps there'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light. Let's hope so. To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock. Yeah, really. I mean, This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madam. But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas, and air is free. Why should much more gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever. This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either. If I might interject here. Yes, madam? It seems my fellow juror takes issue with the price of our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up. Oh, what a beastly man. That uncuffed mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas. I don't even... Hey! No, Mr. Natsume is the one that's been stealing gas. I'll thank you not to go adding on more crimes. Mr. Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I'm quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas. The stuff explodes and can poison you. It's absolutely lethal. Gases. Could we please talk about the poison rather than the gas? Do you think, sir? Well, if you like, I mean, to be honest, I take poison over gas every time. You take poison? What I mean is poison can, can only poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it? Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set up straight, please, lawyer man. Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding, but I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room. Ah, you're right, I hadn't considered that at all! Young lawyer man. Yes? You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you at our company's legal representative. Well, I wasn't expecting you to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Anyway, the point is, I have been the best experience with gas companies in the past.
Hold it!
Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway in here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now. All I've heard about our wonderful fuels, explosions, and poisonings. What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison. I think we would prefer not to have any explosions at all. Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable. My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. More devious? Who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas and we deliver it to our companies fair and square. Indeed, nobody is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company. But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go out selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, see, and sell that. They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible? Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. And then they make contracts with the households supplied by those pipes, and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally? What a brazen form of theft! When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh, golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself. I really did catch him off guard there. Think about what the lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see. Go on. That Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check on your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did? I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away the company's secrets there. Oh, please, everybody knows, but it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean? I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network. Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously, there's a gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipes, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment. Ah, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe the lights of an adjacent property that no contract to be the light flickered, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with pipes. Exactly, my lord. And that's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean... That's right. The lights didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove! Gas started pouring into the house! What a disaster. The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Like, are you trying to kill us all, I said? So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And... And then when the gas starts flowing again, it silently seeps into the floor. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps... Yes, this is almost certainly a clue that we've been hoping for. Hold on. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. Oh, well, if you'd like. I don't mind. Well, I do. That's our company's secret method of identifying the rogues and trying to diddle us. Like I said, madam, it's widely known already. Very well, juror number 3, you amend your statement accordingly. Yes, my lord, my lord. Though I'm not really sure what the point of all this is. Blow too hard into your gas pipe and then you extinguish everything in the house. And then you're in real trouble.
Hold it!
When you say extinguish everything in the house, do you mean... do you mean even on different floors? Oh yes, all floors are connected to the same pipe after all. That's true of every building. Because gas supply contracts are issued for whole properties. Well, I had no idea that it was possible to distinguish gas appliances simply by blowing down the pipe. It's not something we like to publicize, to be honest. But we have to carry out these investigations, as I'm sure you can appreciate. Indeed. It's been mentioned more than one occasion, in the papers even. Is that so? It mentioned to me too, very recently. An incident involving the gas stove going out inexplicably, almost leading to someone's death. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps, yes, it's finally starting to fall into place. The secret link that joins all of these strange occurrences. Oh boy. Oh boy. You mean it's poisoned? That's right. It's happened a tiny few times now. This is most troubling indeed. It's always days like these when I don't any wages that I get in at tea time, see? And I see her doing it, my wife. She gets that devilish look on her face, and she slips some white powder into my cup. And you drink it anyway? I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. And what happened to you? What did it taste like? It was god-awful, believe me. Believe you me, salty as hell! Hold on. Oh, yeah, frick. If nothing else... Sorry about that, anyway, if nothing else was the victims lived that night, there's no explanation, is there?
Hold it!
Yeah, really. Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you'd change your leaning? Sorry? What's that now? Oh, I was just saying if the victim did actually eat or drink something else in the night. What's the matter with you? Sorry? I said if nothing else touched the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all? I feel there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here. compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all, it would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently. I suppose. The trouble is, he has selective hearing? Exactly. But still, this juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need. Yeah. It's interesting how he... This is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people. I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which Mr. Shamspeare was really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened some other way and not via Mr. Natsume's tea. Yes, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it did happen. I have an idea. Mr. Nahato, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten. Oh? Or like what? It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something someone else says. If you'd like me to remind you exactly what I mean, I'd be more than happy to, of course. I mean, we already did it, so... I'll owe it to my client to hear any advice the assistant may be able to offer, so perhaps I ought to let remind me. Then again... No need! Actually, I don't think there's any need. It's vital that we start trying to change these jurors' minds as soon as possible. Of course, I'm sure you're right. But if you decide you'd like to hear your memory refreshed, you only need to ask, Mr. Nahato. Okay, let's see. I do... Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Objection!
Yes! Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious! To whose statements do you refer, Counsel? Juror number 6. Did you hear what juror number 3 just said? Huh? Yeah, of course. I heard him mumbling about something. There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a manner of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question. What? What explanation? I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene to see if there were any traces of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of the gas pipe, Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. What a piece of work is a man. What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamsphere? What speakest thou? Speakest thou? Prithee, is not strange and strange? That is what I must say to thee, sir. I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body. Good lord. Huh. Are they tasted then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying? Or is the gentleman suggesting the poor man was so desperately hungry that he tried to fill his belly with gas? Perhaps no actress will perform a kiss scene with him. For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you I am not a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Japanese friends' conjecture. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. These are empty assertions. There's no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection!
Except there is! That is true. I have no proof that Mr. Shamsford put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamsford has been doing something in front of the lamp on his wall. And we have evidence to prove it. Alright, you got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. And so would I. So let's see this evidence then. No, look at the jury's here. I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that, time and time again, Mr. Shamsford stood in front of his... There it is.
Take that!
What the... These are... Wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints. They were that were found at the scene. Student Prince Council? I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court. However, my lord, this is exciting new forensic technology developed by the great detective Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It reveals all the places that Mr. Shamfir touched in his room. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it? Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's that great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure. I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Phones was quite fascinating. We found skin prints in many places that you would expect, on the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamfir also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. Yeah, for example, here. Around the hanging picture there, indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible. Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps? At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of... I don't believe it. The gas lamp. Though the reason why it isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamsphere has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of the lamp. Right, what have you been up to, nut? I'd asked the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement. Me, and what did I say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now if you recall juror number 3's statement... Well, they now. When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights in the stove to go out, and gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is, someone could do it intentionally. If Mr. Shamford were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Crikey! Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to...
Objection!
Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, I must toast to my murdered friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zykes? This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, is the so-called skin prints. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case. Of course. But it's an exciting new forensic technique, developed by the great detective. It's nothing. A mere toy, developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands. Certainly, even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence. But... Please, my lord, if I may, Mr. Sato, it was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene, as a tool which to explain a possibility to the lady and the gentleman of the jury. Aha! And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree. You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide. Juror number 3. Oh yes, I do declare, the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating, and I want to hear what this shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints. Alright. What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy. I did say I didn't know, and I don't like to break a promise. No, wait! You heard his lordship! It's not better to think of... Oh. Let's think of evidence. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume will have to continue. Thank you, Mr. Sato, but I couldn't have done it without you. Oh no, it's you who identified a clue after all. This is very much your success. Oh boy, he is shaking. Or he is sweating, shaking. Why, Mr. Shamsford, you seem to be losing your composure. Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it. Very well. Continue, counsel. I'm a man of logic. Having considered all the evidence as the defendant must be logically be guilty, I'm very interested in the results of this great detective's investigation at the scene. But we're the ones who decide if the evidence is worthy of consideration or not. Us, the jury. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Truth be told, the tea my wife serves me up for me is a little sketchy at times. I don't believe in breaking promises. We can't come to a decision while there's still so much in the air. Huh.
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say? That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with the big mustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. The defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that? What? Your so-called skin prints? It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique, developed by the great detective himself. The numerous handprints of a wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamster had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied there's a possibility that's where the poison was. Well, yes, I won't deny that's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides... Yes? Even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipes dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he's got the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? Oh. If you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance. You do make a very valid point, sir. What? That's true. Perhaps we're a little hasty. No, wait. Look, you got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is. Just leave our nationality out of this, please! Listen, Naruto, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jurors have changed their minds before may very well change them back. Can I show that Mr. Shamster really did blow into the gas pipe? Oh, I think I wanna press the others just in case. Well, I'm not in position to prove it yet, as I thought. I had a feeling that you would stump. We are capable of independent thought, you know. That would stump you, Japanese. I think we need to gather some material to bolster our position, Mr. Naruto. Yes, that's what I was trying to imply by saying we can't prove it yet. Thank you, Counsel. On with the examination, please. Okay, let's see.
Hold it!
Can we put... Okay. They also check whether or not these went through as tricks. I had no idea. It's almost unbelievable. It might seem unbelievable to you, but it's happening all the time right here in the capital. It's very difficult selling something you can't see, you know? Very difficult indeed. Thank you. That will do. Clearly, this is a very involved subject, but I feel we have to digress rather too much already. I concur. Though my learned friend wishes to become an expert in gas, I believe the subject will suit him well. To your new career in nothingness. Thank you so much. Yeah, really. You turn your attention to the next juror's assertion, please. Yeah, this time period is just not nice to him and people.
Hold it!
You mean it's okay? Okay. So nothing's changed. Okay.
Hold it!
Okay, do we have any evidence? I don't really think we... Yeah. Yeah. Like, he does act like he's the Greta. Or greatest, but yeah, Hmm. Hmm. I don't think we really have any test or any evidence really, but any testimony then maybe? No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness. I mean, typing fast is a great skill to learn. Like, I mean, there is witness testimony that substantiates it. What's that testimony? It's incredible. Whose testimony? Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. The person whose testimony revealed details about the gas and the garroted revenants at night. Wait. Wait, he's 23? That guy is 23? Holy... Jeez, he looks a lot older. Jeez, man. I want to say this.
Take that!
Does that convince you? It's Mr. Garrett then. Phew, I don't think he was listening. Rest assured, Counsel, I shan't let an unsensible answer go without penalty. I thought I got away with it. Witnesses spoke about the gas in the night in question. Yes, there was... Okay. You obviously chose the wrong person. Okay, yeah, but yeah, okay, the only other person I can think of is Mr. Garrett then. Because it was either the guy who was... Like, it was either the guy who knew about gas, and the guy that hasn't really been that hasn't really appeared in this case that often, but... Or this. No, I already, I just wanna, I need to make sure that this is actually, that my hunch...
Take that!
Oh. Okay. Okay, let's see. I mean... Sure, I guess a hint could what couldn't hurt. Like maybe like whether it's evidence or a person, I guess. And I could figure it out from there, I guess. I mean, I need to. Let me see. Blow down the gas pipe in the night in question. Wait. Wait. Can it be? Yeah, like, it can't be the detective. Like, I might be misremembering things. It's gonna. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna talk about the defendant, Mr. Sasuke Natsume himself. The defendant. At the beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. My lodgings, there's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. Even at that fateful night it happened when I returned from Mr. Shamsier's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed. Before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me! Uh-huh. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not? Good golly! So that Shamsier fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose? Hold your horses. Yeah, what would he do that for? Mr. Foreman. What is it, man? We cannot allow judgment to be passed while this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there is more to this case than meets the eye. Yeah. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic, first and foremost. No problem. I mean, no problem. I figured it out eventually anyway. even in my own harebrained way, or cat-brained way. Now, that's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We have overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. As the defense has rightfully indicated, the simulation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering the decision. 2 jury members now call guilty, 4 now call not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Alright then. Mr. William Shamsphere. My lord, how can thy humble Shamsphere serve thee? What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination? So God mend me, I do solemnly swear. I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe. But your handprints have made a tiny mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh? Ah! Frick! Oh, gosh! Oh, it's all over. This is gonna stain. Oh! Ah! I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5. Oh, me? This is went to some pains to point out already. A print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law. Yep. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains, at this time, unestablished conjecture. You'd all do well to remember that.
Objection!
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the lamp in Mr. Shansfield's room to be examined. if there are traces of poison there.
Objection!
What appears to be extremely simple is my Japanese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required. Yes, therefore it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were fed up a pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. I didn't think about that. In any case, Counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipework where he lived? There's only one possibility that I could think of. And that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder. Oh boy. So we go from like a murder to now like an attempted murder, or a different attempted murder victim. Precisely whose life do you propose this man was planning to end? The answer couldn't be simpler. Now we've unraveled the mystery this far. Mr. Shamster wanted to end the life of Saseki Natsume. If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I live around those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep while the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You freeze it up in no time. Mr. Garrett, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence in the top floor. In other words, it wasn't a landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamster was trying to end. Outrageous! I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder. Gracious. Oh boy.
Objection!
The accused is actually the aggrieved? Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of this case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. What? How can you still claim that? Let's indulge our fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question then arises, who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and incident to kill. Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, that how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison? So now we must ask, how could anyone have known Mr. Shamster's murderous designs? You mean to suggest, naturally, the sole purpose answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known. What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe is what was a clear retaliatory attack. Can only have been the accused, Mr. Saseki Natsume. Whatever Mr. William Shamster may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly perpetrate the attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. The defense counsel is theorizing. I spell you over suspicion for the accused, far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Japanese friend? How did you manage to turn that around on me so rapidly? Mr. Naruto, you must respond, otherwise the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage. What advantage? Well, it would seem that somebody put poison in the gas pipe in Mr. Shamster's room. We must name that person now, and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt. You mean, name the true culprit? I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all. As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, it's all pointing to a particular person now. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What? Oh, don't you worry. We know exactly what.
Objection!
Objection! There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit? A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives. My Japanese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its disapproving climax. Thank you. Tell us, my Japanese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime? Oh, frick. Ay, ay, ay. I... Oh, boy. Like... Like, if it's any of the other... Well, unless it was... Wait... This is my first thought.
Take that!
You claim this person is the true culprit? I was business, I would say. Yes. Perhaps, my learned Japanese friend, you should turn those wide eyes of suspicion on yourself. What? For it seems to be that your reckless reasoning makes you far more than anyone else you could name. A very dangerous man indeed. Yeah. Wait, I was trying to. Then you must concentrate harder. Harsh. Ah, frick. Oh, wait. Okay, I can still save. Okay, I was a little bit hoping of trying to. Like, oh. Okay. I know it can't be. It can't be the first three. Like, and I know it can't be Mr. Garrett, otherwise he would not be able to be a juror in a future case. Can't be Van Zykes. I don't think it could be Quimby. I don't think it's Duncan Ross, because that doesn't make any sense. Either it was self-inflicted, or... Oh my... It has...
Take that!
Okay... How are we supposed to... I'm curious. What happens if we just name Victim again? We just name him again. Okay. I mean, okay. If it was olive green, like, okay. If it's olive green, then how did she even get in? Whatever.
Take that!
Wait, what? What? I mean, we saw her we saw her try to poison herself, but how would she even get? Uh-huh. I guess we'll figure that out, but what? The name of the person responsible for the poison afflicted with Mr. Shamster, I believe. Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Council, but I don't recall where. Miss Olive Green. The woman from 6 days ago. The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road. An incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add. Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green! She left comatose for 3 days. For some 3 days, I believe, but I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago. But I hardly need to remind the court that Mr. Shamsfield's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True, on the night of the incident occurred, Mr. Green was in a hospital unconscious. So on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in the hospital yesterday, and we found her in possession of a bottle of poison. Gracious, she had poison? And there is another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. Like, I know, because I knew she possessed poison, but how she got in is my... But I mean, it would also explain why she was there, because we didn't really know why she was even in that part of town. But... The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court. Tell me, Mr. Shamsphere. My lord, pray, what be thy bidding? Are you acquainted with Miss Green? Eh? No, never heard of her. Judging by the look on Mr. Shamsphere's face, I believe he genuinely doesn't know her, at least not by name. As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see, my lord, if these friends follows through to its conclusion. I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here. Yes, Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient. Very well, I grant the request. Excellent. I hope. The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and its culpability remain on the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned. Oh boy. Oh. That felt a bit shorter, but hey, I'm not complaining. Oh boy. Holy. So, next time next time in this game we're going to